Hey guys, Sci-Fi Guy 2094 here, and today I am going to be talking about a movie that I've wanted to see for a little while now, and it is called Equilibrium. It is a 20, I believe it's a 2002 sci-fi action thriller dystopian film starring Christian Bale and Taye Diggs. If anybody, I'm not really too sure what else he's in, but so the main premise of this film, obviously, it's like dystopian. So a lot of common things in sci-fi dystopian films is that there's like a totalitarian regime that basically wants to keep everybody in check, and they really want to clamp down on people's freedoms. So this movie is really no different. So this one I think is a little bit interesting, and I kind of like this. I kind of like the idea of this, but basically humans, after they've seen all the chaos in the world, all the war and all the murder and all the killing and everything that's so bad about humanity, they voluntarily decided that they will take this drug. I can't remember the name of the drug, but they've decided to take this drug that basically gets rid of all their emotions, basically. So everybody's pretty peaceful. They're docile. There's no war in the world at all, so I think that's a fantastic thing. There's no murder. It's basically very peaceful. The trade-off though is that they don't have emotions. Anybody who is basically accused of having emotions is called a sense offender. So like sense, like they're feeling things, like they're not allowed to feel things anymore. So there are, they call them, I guess, the resistance. They're not really like a resistance because there's not like a military type thing at play with the resistance in this movie too much. Yeah, the government does go and raid them, but it's more so like in the beginning scene, there's like they have a stash of like valuable art. They find this Mona Lisa painting, which is, they kind of scan it to make sure it's authentic. They're like, yeah, it's real. And the Mona Lisa is like the most famous and most iconic and expensive painting. So they just burn the painting, they burn everything. You can't have any music, you can't have art, you can't have anything that's going to give you some type of feeling. So that's the main thing. You have these really uh, kind of totalitarian rules in place to make sure people aren't feeling. And Christian Bale is, a member of like they call them like the clergy, which are basically like these enforcers who make sure that people, you don't have music, they don't have art, they have to make sure people take their doses, so they don't start feeling. I really like this movie. It brings into a lot of questions into, what if in the real world we could eliminate, just look at all the wars that are going on right now. We have Israel Palestine, we have Russia Ukraine, we have a genocide in Sudan. you know we have you know the Rohingya genocide. We have all these crazy terrible things that are happening to people. We have the Uyghur genocide, which is in China. you know and just brings into question, like, well, what if we could stop all these terrible things from all these bad regimes from happening, but we just have to give up a little bit of our freedom. Is it worth it? And that's definitely something to think about. Obviously, I'm not saying I want a new world order with a government that's going to take away everyone's rights just so we have peace. No war would be nice ideally, but you know, freedom is great, but unfortunately we use our freedom to do terrible things in this world. And now I'm kind of rambling, but that's the point, because this movie does get you thinking about some of these different ideals about how the world should be and how to create like a peaceful world. So it's definitely something to think about. I really like this movie. It's got some decent action. Christian Bale is the lead, and he does great. Obviously, he plays John. I can't think of the last name, but obviously, like, he's just like the best at what he does. He's like stone cold, icy, and just completely dedicated to the cause. He serves who they call father, is the guy who basically oversees to make sure everything is going according to plan and make sure, that society stays in a peaceful state. You know, but obviously, as we see, his partner is somebody who didn't turn in any evidence from the raid at the beginning. He has to kill him, and then he misses. He breaks one of his little vials, and he misses a dose, and then he starts to kind of question everything that's going on with this regime that punishes people for having emotions. Really interesting film. I really, really liked it. So I'm glad I watched this movie. Um, I would give this movie an 8 out of 10. I really like it, and if you haven't watched it, you should definitely check it out.